Hey everybody, it's Jasmine and I am super excited because I'm bringing you guys another Battle of the Blank video. Today I wanted to bring you guys Touch and Soul because they recently launched a brand new primer right here, which is their Pretty Filter Icy Sherbet primer. You guys know that their No Poreblem is my absolute favorite. It's my holy grail. So I was really excited to get this in the mail and test it for you guys. So for today's video, we're gonna go in depth with the application, the claims, and the wear test. So let's go ahead and get started. On the right side of my face, I'm applying here the Sherbert primer. And honestly, it gave me like an instant cooling effect, which is actually pretty nice. I mean, today is like 100 degrees already. So it's really nice to feel like a wake up freshness feeling. I think the texture is pretty similar to No Poreblem. I mean, as you guys know, No Poreblem is my ride or die, but with this one, it feels like the same where it drags on the skin, where it's just one nice soft sweep, but it feels a little bit, I guess, heavier. So while I'm just sitting here touching my face, blending it in, I think the main difference between the Sherbet primer and the No Poreblem is that this one has no silicones at all. That's what it says on the box here, and I know for a fact that this is a silicone primer, the No Poreblem. So that's like the biggest difference. If you are allergic to silicones and you just want something that has a very similar texture, then I think the Sherbet one is gonna be your next best bet. So I've had this sitting on my skin for about a minute just so I could have it, you know, settle in. And this also claims to have a silky fine-tuned finish as well as rich hydration. And I definitely feel the hydration on my skin. I don't think I look exceptionally dewy, but I do feel like all of the moisture is retained on the skin, which is really nice. However, with the silky and fine-tuned finish, I think with all primers, like let me be real, I think with all primers, if I look into the mirror after I applied it, I don't see a difference in my skin. So I'm gonna have to do the foundation wear test later and then check up on it for you guys. But that is a claim I wanted to mention. As you guys know, the No Poreblem is my holy grail, my #1 primer. I love this stuff so much. And although it is a silicone primer, I love it because it just feels so soft and smooth and light, which is actually the claims of this primer. And I feel like with this, it immediately feels so much more lightweight than the Sherbet primer just upon application. And that's just because it claims to have this airy texture. According to the box, this is what it says word for word: an airy smoothing makeup primer that covers pores and areas of uneven texture, giving a perfect and seamless coverage for all day wear. The primer is infused with green tea extracts and collagen that helps keep skin hydrated, and oil controlling powders for a long lasting makeup. And I think as somebody who has used bottle after bottle and has multiple backups, I can confidently say that those claims are 100% true. I find that for me, I love it because whenever I apply my foundation, if I know I'm gonna have a long day, my makeup will look perfect from the time I put it on all the way until I take it off. I find that my skin looks flawless, my pores, my smile lines look so good with any foundation. And I feel like because it's hydrating yet oil controlling, I think that it creates a perfect balance on my normal skin and with any other foundation that I lay on top of. So now that these had a chance to sit on the skin while I am touching my face now, they both feel the exact same. So what that is telling me is that these will give you the exact same finish while it's all applied. I think the only difference is the fact that the Sherbet on the side has a cooling feeling. It's a little bit of a thicker texture, and the No Poreblem is a little bit more of a softer, airy texture with silicone in it. I'm gonna quickly run through my base routine. So first, I'm gonna use my Pure Love Your Selfie foundation. I have the shade MG3. This is one of my favorite foundations because I only need one pump for my full face, and it gives me amazing coverage all throughout the day. It does claim to be long lasting as well. However, I think when paired with my No Poreblem, I think it looks really good. So I think this foundation will really tell the difference between the two because I use it all the time with No Poreblem in particular. So far, the Sherbert side is not balling up. I can appreciate that. I feel like recently a lot of my foundations have been balling up on my skin, which is not okay. It's not fun. So to have today be the day where I don't have any balling, amazing. So far, it's looking the exact same. I feel like I have the same amount of glow on each side. I feel like my pores look great on each side. My smile lines are looking great. So I'm gonna continue moving on to finish up the rest of my base. We're gonna do some of this ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. This concealer is actually really good. I think I like it way better than the original No Filter concealer from ColourPop. This one, 100% better. Love it. And while we are on the topic of ColourPop, let's do some cream contour while we're at it. I'm gonna try and do as much face products as I can just to give this a real test. The bronzer is blending out pretty well. I normally don't have any issues as far as like the blending with the bronzer, but it should just be noted anyway that there's no issues. Application with the concealer is looking really good on both sides. Nothing to complain about yet. We're gonna use some banana powder and I'm just gonna set essentially like the center of my face. I normally just set wherever I place the concealer. I am a normal skin type, so I don't really get oily anywhere, but again, it is 100 degrees today, so I will be sweating and I just want my concealer to be set in place, really. And then taking some of my Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer from Too Faced to just set the liquid bronzer in place. Well, it's just a darker foundation. It's not even a bronzer, but I use it as a bronzer. Then we're gonna do a light dusting of some of my Catrice blush. Love this stuff, so amazing. I think by adding all these powders, I think it is a good way to see where the primer is filling in your pores, because for me, I feel like when I have all these powders, my pores are a little bit more emphasized, especially in the center of my cheek right here, and the smile line area can look a little bit dry. So after all of this, let's look at what the skin looks like. So with all of the powders on the skin, I think it's a really good indicator to see where the products really work. So is it pore filling enough? Like, are you really gonna see your pores after all that powder? Or are you going to see some creasing, things of that nature? So as I am looking up close, I think if I'm really nitpicking here, I think the thing that's most noticeable to me is my nose area. Now on the No Poreblem, right in the crevice, it looks soft, smooth, nice, delicious. And then on the Sherbet side, it looks like there's a little bit more product, I guess, gunked up in there, but that's only if I'm really nitpicking. I think if I were to just zoom out a little bit and look at my face, it's not a huge difference. But if I'm also going up really close to my skin, like I talked about with the whole powder situation, where are your pores going to be visible? And I feel like on the No Poreblem side, right here on my cheek where it's the most problematic, on this side it looks soft and smooth, while on this side you can kind of see the pores, but it still looks very minimized. So very subtle differences, but I just applied my makeup, so we aren't really gonna see like the best results right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and have an 8-hour day, and I will check in at the end of the night. It's the end of the day, it's been 8 hours, and like I said throughout this video, it's hot today. It was 100 degrees like all day today. I did go out to run some errands. I had to go to the post office. I was eating today. So I had a lot of movement and I had a lot of sweating going on. So that was like, I think, the perfect condition to really test these primers out. I think from far away, if we look at my skin, I think we all see like a nice soft dew to the skin on both sides, which I personally really like. I don't like looking super matte, but I also don't like looking super dewy. So this is actually the type of finish I prefer at the end of the day, where I just look glowy and youthful. Immediately I noticed that on the Sherbet side, there are some areas where it looks a little dry, which is a little strange because for me, I love to hydrate underneath. My skincare routine is very hydrating. I just like looking soft and dewy at the end of the day, but not to the point where like I could fry bacon on my forehead or anything like that. So it's strange that there are like some dry patches. So I see some right here in the mouth area, which is not common for me at all. Smile lines, they look pretty good, but I think comparing the two, you get more creasing on this side. What else can I nitpick at? Right in this eyebrow area, it looks really dry here. Same thing on the forehead, it looks a little bit dry. Let's hope you guys are watching this in HD. Now, I think when you look at my skin just face on, I think we can all agree that it kind of looks the same. And I think for this review, I am nitpicking at the area. So like I said here, it's just this area, it's looking a little bit dry. Right in here, looks a little bit more, I guess, creasy than this side smile line. Right here looks a little dry, and same thing on the forehead area. So very slight differences. I think the amount of glow is essentially the same on both sides. My face feels the same. You know, there wasn't a big texture difference in the beginning of the day, and I don't feel any texture differences here. My foundation doesn't transfer. The Pure foundation barely transfers on its own anyway, but some primers I think break down more than others. So it's great to note that these two aren't, you know, breaking up faster than the other. It's kind of the same. I think, again, the only real difference is that one has silicone and one doesn't. I always forget to mention the price points, but these are just $2 off. The No Poreblem is $18 and the Icy Sherbet will retail you for $20. So essentially around the same price point, and I do love the fact that on both of these, they do have expiration dates. I think for Touch in Sol, I think it's amazing that all of their products have expiration dates, because if you are somebody who likes to collect, you kind of see a time frame of when you should be using up your products. And this is pretty generous. So this one expires in 2023, so I still have a long ways to go with this, and I like the fact that it can just remind me if I ever forget. For both of these primers, a little bit goes a very long way. I feel like with the No Poreblem, I can get away with one pump all over my skin, maybe a little extra in areas that I really need additional help in. But for this, because it is in a jar and you can't really scoop it out, or I mean pump it out, you could easily scoop out a pea-size amount and it'll be good to cover your entire face. They both have roughly the same amount of product. The No Poreblem has 1.01 ounces and this has 1.05. I'm just gonna say they have the same amount of product, truly. So in the end, do I recommend one over the other, or do I think that they're the same? Honestly, I still feel like by a small percentage, I still recommend the No Poreblem a little bit over the Icy Sherbet. I think that both of these are great. In the end, my skin literally looks the same. I think if you are allergic to silicones, you have a great alternative. If you're the type of person who wakes up a little bit puffy and who needs just a little bit of a cooling effect, this will definitely give it to you. But if you're somebody who just doesn't like the feeling of, I guess, like cakey makeup, then the No Poreblem will be great because of the texture. It's just very light, soft, and very silky on the skin. And just like that, you guys, we are completed with this review. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I hope that it was helpful for you. Even though that these were just so similar, I was trying to find key differences for you guys as best as I could. So I hope that you really enjoyed this video, and if I forgot anything, then I will have it in the description box as always. I love you guys so much, and don't forget to enter my 50K giveaway. Let's not forget that. That will be in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for always being positive and making this a better place for us. As always, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.